Manchester United secure the 3 points, and did we deserve it is the big question. I'm going to talk about all that and a lot more from the world of sports. This is Point of View. I am Bobby Munson, and sat beside me, as always, here on a Sunday, it is Andre 2/3 Fluffy C. Andre, how are you doing? Happy Sunday, brother.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Had a really uneventful Saturday, which I did nothing because I had wrestling on both Thursday and Friday this week with LPW, working the Thursday night event, and then attending the Friday night event. And so I just took Saturday to do nothing today. It's a tough day for me. It's the anniversary of my father passing away 4 years ago. So here, going to chat with you about this, going to record about some professional wrestling, and then I'm going to go pay my respects this afternoon. But it's a tough day, but it's a good day because I'm here hanging out with you, Bobby, talking to you, and I get to talk to some other friends later. So it's a good day. It's a good day.
All right. Well, hopefully we can continue to make it positive for you. Let's start off by talking about the Manchester United game. I will get this underway. Benjamin Šeško getting a start today. Yes, Amad Diallo ended up seeing the bench, and we went with Benjamin Šeško up front because he has been on something of a roll, at least from the bench as of late, coming off the bench and securing points for Manchester United, making sure that we didn't take any losses in recent memory. He has been the revelation that we were hoping he'd be when we picked him up at the start of the season. Everyone was hoping that this kid would turn into something, and now he's showing those kinds of signs, but was starting him the right decision. And while there was some opportunities in the first half for him that didn't quite go all too well, it didn't matter because in the end, he did manage to secure a goal. He's got the goal winner for us, in fact. The question because whether or not we deserved it. Crystal Palace way outplayed us. They got a header in the 3rd minute of the game to go 1-0 up. Man United looked like they couldn't complete more than 2 passes in a row before losing the ball all in the first half. We were absolute dog shit. And then from there, what happens is we get a bit of a soft penalty, and it had to go to a VAR check. Good morning to both Zach and Eric in the chat. Thank you for joining. Šeško should know we are not lending you Šeško, not at all. You keep dreaming. So we go into the second half, and there is a VAR check for penalty call. Matheus Cunha had a run going towards the net. He was tugged by the player from Crystal Palace. They went to the VAR check to make sure that it was definitely a penalty and then also to double check for a red card. Now, VAR wanted to put it back into the referee's hands. So after the VAR check, they said to the referee to come check the screen on the side of the pitch to decide what his decision was going to be. And he ended up giving not only the penalty, but he gave the red card, putting Crystal Palace down to 10 men. And I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, I love the fact that we have a chance to get back in this. I don't know if I agree with this being the way it has to go down. I think that Cunha going down, like Cunha is such a strong player on his feet that him going down like he did, it felt a little bit like he was looking for this. Like it really kind of felt like this was more of a Cunha seeing an opportunity to maybe take the foul in order to get the penalty. And as a Man United fan, I don't want to see us win under those pretenses. Personally, I would rather it be a little bit more clean. Maybe he went down legitimately, but man, it did not look like it. So even I was kind of questioning. I'm like, even if you're going to give the penalty, I feel the red card was harsh. And I understand it's last man play, right? So if you impede somebody on a goal scoring opportunity when there's nobody else to defend them, it's supposed to be an immediate red card, but I really strongly feel like this red card was unwarranted. We end up getting the penalty. Bruno Fernandes takes it. He scores a goal, getting past Dean Henderson. Finally, it's 1-1. And then later in the game, it becomes a great ball into Benjamin Šeško from Bruno Fernandes, and Šeško buries it with a beautiful header, 2-1. We hold out the game. That's the way it ends up. All 3 points go to Manchester United. Another victory for them now puts us in 3rd because Aston Villa slipped up this weekend as well too. So Aston Villa dropping points, and now we are level on points with them, but due to goal differential, Manchester United find themselves in 3rd place for the first time in a very long time. And I know that there's a lot of delusional fans thinking, oh, maybe we have a chance of winning the entire league. Like, Pull your heads out of your asses, okay? Like, we are fortunate to be sitting in third place right now, and we need to count our blessings that we're sitting in third place right now. There is still 10 games left in this season. That's still 10 opportunities for us to completely drop the ball on this. And let's not say that what we did on the pitch today was convincing enough to believe that we can definitely hold out for the rest of the season. I am praying for it as a Manchester United fan. I want to see it as a Manchester United fan, but really get your heads out of the clouds, because there is zero chance we are going to end up surpassing Arsenal. And while we're a little closer to Manchester City, it is entirely possible to get above them. I don't, again, second place finish, okay, maybe, but keep dreaming. I really don't think that it's going to be happening. Yeah, I was surprised by Villa getting thumped by Wolves. I'm surprised when Wolves beats anybody for that matter, but especially Villa. Like, suddenly Villa is just like, what has happened to them? I don't know. They've really dropped the ball all of a sudden for where they were dominating at the top.
I want to say Wolves are bottom of the table, like complete, like they're the worst of the worst guys going right now. So that's a bad beat right there. Like, yeah, again, he's saying like it's people like, oh, we can win it. It's like you're 10 points back of Arsenal and you're 8 points back of Man City. Arsenal still has to play today. And that's against who they're playing today.
They're against Chelsea, but it puts Arsenal a game in hand. If you look at the matches played right now, they're sitting on 28, so they'll actually be at 29 games played to everybody who's below them. Chelsea's playing their 28th game today, so it's kind of a step above. So even if they get those 3 points, it's not really a true evaluation of the table until everybody's become level on the amount of games played.
But still, it still puts them up like 14. If they win, that's 14 points ahead of where you're at in third place, which is a sizable gap with only 10 games left to go in the season.
Huge gap. Like, Arsenal would really have to drop the ball not to win this division. I know, again, stranger things have happened. It's
right now, it's between them and Man City, with Man City only back by 2 points at the current moment before the game plays this morning. So that still Man City has their shot too. You can't. But it's like this is it's going to be. It would be something to get up into second right now.
It would be, yeah. No, and I'll be happy. Again, Champions League football. That's what we want. We want to get Champions League football as Manchester United. We need to be back in Europe. So third, fourth, it doesn't matter. As long as we can do enough to stay in that top four right now, that is key. That is what we need to do. Arsenal have screwed up the league. Yes, I agree with you that they have screwed up the league, Eric. But yeah, it is possible. Anything can change. But I really don't foresee it happening. Again, Arsenal, I think, are going to chip away just enough points to either stay in first place and win it, or, if they slip it all, it'll beat a City, and it won't be by much. It's going to be a race with Arsenal and City. I think that there's going to be about a four-way race, I'm going to call it, at least, between United, Villa, Liverpool, and Chelsea for sure. Brentford starts to get into the equation there a little bit, but I believe that race right there is who's going to be racing to finish in the spots for the Champions League football for next season. And again, the question becomes, what does Man United do if they get Champions League football? Because we don't look that sharp as it is. So it could be rough. We need to strengthen our midfield. We need to be able to prepare ourselves. It's going to be a long season next season after so much time off. Elsewhere today, Andre, Tottenham Hotspurs losing their matchup barely keeps them above the relegation zone. In fact, had Nottingham Forest won their matchup, they would have put Tottenham back into 17th place. Really, I mean, it's Eric's team, West Ham, that can be the difference maker between Tottenham going down or Tottenham staying in the Premier League this season. So part of me kind of wants to root for West Ham to put Tottenham down, because Tottenham a long-time rival. Yeah.
As long as my tree, like, I only adopted the trees here. I have a Reading jersey here that I purchased last off season just because I did. But I picked the trees this year. I jumped on their bandwagon this year. I'm planning to pick up a kit in the off season when they're like on sale again. Hopefully, I'll get a kit in the off season when it's on sale. End of season, right? You always buy, they sell them cheap. But yeah, I'm a trees guy going forward. I'm gonna support the trees. So I'm committing to them. I picked them this year. I'm committing to them. It might be a bad year next year for me in the championship if they go there, but I guess I'm a trees guy now.
Yeah, you might have double teams there next. No,
and sadly, I am a Wrexham supporter because again, I got hooked on that from that TV show they did. So I support them. I'll admit that. I know you don't like that, but I do.
Well, I mean, it's not Wrexham personally. I really don't like it's who owns them. But yeah, I mean,
both of the owners or just one of the owners.
Well, one for sure. I don't really know much about the other guy.
The other one's pretty cool. Come on, the other Rob's pretty cool.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know f all about him. So really, I can't commentate on that. But I think the other one's an absolute human bully. But Wrexham, I mean, are sitting in 6th right now in the championship, which is absolutely batshit because that means that they're in a position to they're in a position to be in the mini tournament to get promotion. It is entirely possible that Wrexham finds themselves in the Premier League, making it back to back promotions, going from the absolute bottom of the bottom straight up to the top division. That is all kinds of
strange.
They've
already promoted 3 times in a row. This would be a 4th promotion if I as much as I enjoy watching this team and they've had a phenomenal year and they're sitting in that playoff zone. Yes, I see the luck finally running out for that team. I think they're in champions for a little bit here. They got to be because if they end up in the Premier League, they're not ready. They I was watching videos of them where they were like the last season watching Welcome to Wrexham and talking about being in League One and saying being the new CEO and everything, talking about being worried with the facilities and everything, not being ready for Champions League at that point. Or if they do make it, it's going to be very tight. So if they go another one, they're not ready for Premier League. And that's and the scary part is if you get promoted that fast, there's a high chance they're going back down the next season. So that's the scary. So I think them building themselves up in the Champions League for a few seasons is a good thing.
At the same time, yeah, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, they weren't ready for Division 1. They weren't ready for the championship.
Nope.
On paper,
but they
did
it. I think they've done a good job at building squads every year to help bolster them and keeping them competitive with each promotion, which is very impressive. As much as I know people want to hate on them, but it's Bobby versus Deadpool in the Prairies wrestling circuit. Yes, I want to see it.
I mean, the promos alone would be worth the price of admission. But yes, gonna switch over from the footy. That's your footy update for this week. Anyway, I want to go back recalling last week's stream, Andre, because first of all, I want to say thank you, a massive thank you to everybody who tuned in to last week's stream, breaking over 1,000 views, almost just shy of 1,200 views. A lot of comments on this one, Andre. We got a lot of hype points. We did very well with last week's stream. First, I want to go. We're going to go. Well, not first. We're going to go to a question that actually came in that I said we were going to go to and discuss on this week's stream. But yeah, I was blown away. This was right place, right time. Anyway, we had the right topic to roll over into. We had a lot of people that were awake wanting to see reactions to the Olympic finals. But yeah, it was huge for us here. This was Point of View's best show that we have done in terms of the attention it got. We had a lot of new subscribers, so thank you to them for joining the channel here. Hopefully you're getting a lot of entertainment value out of this. Yeah, your thoughts, Andre, on what went down with our big stream last week?
I combination of us coming on right after the hockey game, so we were live to talk about it. So people that were coming back and watching us afterwards, we're seeing us with our live reactions to those games and things. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching and leaving. And the comment thread was amazing to read. Lots of poor Canada in there. Yeah, we were pretty. I think we were pretty gracious as fans talking on the show last week. But no, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, either live that were here or that watched after us to get us to that crazy amount of views and watch time. We appreciate that so much, and yeah, absolutely tremendous. Like, and we appreciate all of you because I loved it. It was just cool to be watching the comments come in, watching the views just rack up, just having these little conversations I was having with Bobby and Ed throughout the week about all this. It was great. It was great.
It made for a very fun week, and thank you again to everybody who made that successful. So I wanted to go to a question that was brought to our attention here by, let me just read the name out here. Pitch It Hard over on YouTube commented on that stream on the, I guess, left a comment afterwards saying, here's how it was worded, and then I'll kind of explain. America is the captain of your team in your capital city. How does that sit with Canadians? And what the question really is here is Chuck is the captain of the Ottawa Senators. He's American. He plays for the American team. How do we as Canadians feel about an American playing for as the captain for the capital of Canada? And to that I replied, and I feel this really kind of applies to any sport really, is that when it comes to league play, you want the best of the best players, right? Like, and nationality doesn't become a factor at that point. I mean, even with our international teams, if we could pick whatever players we wanted that were interested in playing for that country, we would love to pick all the best players in the world to make sure that we saw success for our country. But when it comes to cheering for international, you're going to go with your home country. That is where your pride is. That is what you're going to cheer on. And that's the way it goes. When it comes to league play, it doesn't bother me that American is the captain of the Ottawa Senators. And whether again, I'm not a Senators supporter, but it wouldn't bother me regardless. Even if there was a team I rooted for, I'm not bothered by them being from another country, from the country that they play in, because it's league play. And you want to see the best of the best in league play, form those teams to try to go and win those big games. So again, great question that was pitched to us, but that's my opinion on it. I want to see what you think, Andre, and also if you're in the chat, let us know as well too.
I feel this similar to you because it's like league play is league play. It's well, the NHL is a North American game, right? It's Canada and the US. That's all, the teams all exist within these two countries. It's the best of the best in the world come and play in the NHL. So we got players from all over the world here. To that same question that he says, are the captain of our team from the team from our capital city is American, right? The captain of the American's capital city team, the Washington Capitals, is Russian. How do you feel about a Russian being your captain of the team in your capital city? It's essentially asking the same question because again, he is one of the greatest hockey players of all time, in Alexander Ovechkin, and he has been to be the captain of the Washington Capitals. Does it actually matter in the end that he's Russian? No, because he's living in the U.S., playing a U.S. game of hockey, and has been one of the greatest superstars for the last 20 years in hockey now.
Time. Yeah, it's been a while.
20 years because he missed. He had the same year as Crosby because he missed his year due to the lockout. He missed his first what would have been his rookie year would have been lockout. But he's been playing for 20 years now, and he's been absolutely tremendous in Washington. But again, does anybody care that he's a Russian hockey player? Not really. They just care that he is one of the best players in this goddamn league, killing it with a team, brought them to a Stanley Cup at one point. And like I look at there's so many other teams, but I look at other Canadian teams like Connor McDavid, captain of the Edmonton Oilers, Canadian. Like there's lots of Canadians that are captains up here. Like my team, Nick Suzuki, he's Canadian on the Montreal Canadiens, and he's a Canadian hockey player from Canada who's captaining the team. Again, it's kind of it's an argument point. Don't get me wrong, and I can understand why people, but I don't know. It just kind of almost pointless because again, I'm all about my team. I'm not about where my players are from. Like I understand, like I do cheer for a team where the fan base just tends to be a-holes about where people are from and then don't speak their language. And I do understand that because I deal with that as a Montreal Canadiens fan. And when I go there and I get mad at the fan base when they yell and scream about a coach that can't speak French, who gives a shit? if they're the best, if they do the best job, why do you care if they're there? You know what I mean? Like, I've never understood that, but that's again a very small section of the NHL fan base. But yeah, I cheer for my team, and I just want the best players on my team. That's all I care about. I don't care about where
For
they're
sure.
from. If a captain is like, dude, Saku Koivu, one of the greatest hockey players that has ever existed in my heart. I got a signed jersey just across the room from me here over here of Saku Koivu. He's a Finn, but he was a captain of the Montreal Canadiens for years. Doesn't matter to me. He's one of the greatest hockey players of all time.
Yeah. And going back over to the chat here for a moment, Eric saying Leafs fan, their captain's American too, but it's not working out too well, Cy. But Peggy's joining us. Peggy, good morning to you over in the chats. Peggy makes a very good point here. And I'd say the question is a little different. Yeah. Russia didn't just beat the U.S. for a gold medal. So a very strong point that is being made here by Peggy that, you know, we're hot off of America taking that victory over Canada for the gold medal. So that's where the frustration can come in. I get where Peggy's coming from. I still hold true to that. My brain personally differentiates when it comes to international and league. It really just cuts off completely. I'm used to it with footy. So even when it comes to hockey, anything like that, really, it doesn't bother me on that level, but I can see where Peggy's coming from as well too.
But I can say to that, you now have a gold medal winner as your captain in Ottawa. Your captain of your team is a gold medal winner. So that means that man should be able to lead you to a very strong playoff run of that sense, because he just helped win a gold medal, help America win a gold medal. He should be able to help your team win a Stanley Cup. So again, there's a positive you can think of that, because like, hey, you just won a gold medal. Maybe you can bring some of that success back to our team and help drive this team forward into possibly getting into the Stanley Cup playoffs and getting into a Stanley Cup final. Like you can believe, yeah, you may not be happy about it as a Canadian that he won it, but you can be like, well, he just won a gold medal. Let's see how we can help bring that feeling into the actual team itself. You can say, you know what I mean? That's kind of way I look at it that way.
For sure. And Peggy also saying absolutely, but I assume that's why person asked the question. And I agree. Yeah. And
I would cry. I would cry too. Eric. Too, because the one thing I can say as a Montreal Canadiens fan is we are the last Stanley Cup champions now for 32 years. We're the last Canadian Stanley Cup champions. I can still say that to this day. But the one team I could live with an Ottawa win. I could not live with a Leaf win. I couldn't. I just couldn't. It would hurt me too much for the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup again before the Habs. That would hurt me. Where the Ottawa Senators, yeah, would be a dagger in my heart. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't kill me. The Leafs might kill me.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens when the Stanley Cup playoffs start rolling around this season. But Andre, I want to
Montreal's in the running right now, still third place in the Atlantic. So yeah, baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll probably get a place.
And the Leafs, the Senators and the Leafs aren't even in playoff contention right now.
Yeah. Well, for now, we'll see what happens. Long time to go. A lot of games to go.
The Leafs won't be in. They suck.
Yeah. Well, they are struggling. But Andre, I want to give you the
games to go in the season. So
okay. All right.
So we're getting close.
Perfect.
We're getting close.
Right. Well, I'm going to put the floor over to you, Andre, because I know you got a lot to talk about with F1. In fact, you even did some artwork for this, I believe.
I made a PowerPoint. I did what I do for my point of view show when I talk about that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna set some windows here so I can get the information that I need for what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm just kind of pulling up my script. I closed some stuff, not realizing I messed up. So yeah. I think it's time to talk some F1, because I said last week I'm going to give a breakdown of the teams this year going into this new season that starts this coming Saturday night for me / Sunday morning for everybody else, because it's at race at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're kicking it off in the Australian Grand Prix, and we're going to talk about the teams we're going in with the racers, and we have a new 11th team this year. What the hell? What the? Oh, I have the wrong one up.
You sure
that's
do.
The one I want. I was wondering why it was circles. That's there we go. Now it looks proper. That looks like what I do. I was like, why are we circles? I hit the wrong one. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about. I just want to go over the teams. Talk about the only a couple new racers in F1 this year. A lot of the teams are staying solid to what they were last season. And then just do a little bit of chat about the cars coming in. And actually, just high recommendation if you, again, like I said last week, if you do want to learn about F1, check out Drive to Survive. This new season to just recap the 2025 F1 season. Just dropped on Netflix on Friday. I highly recommend it to anybody watching that. If you want to learn about the sport, learn about the kind of how it works, how points work, things like that, it kind of gives you and teaches you a little bit how that kind of stuff works. And then honestly, the F1 Wikipedia page for the season really does help. It's based on how points work, all that kind of stuff. It's actually really the Wikipedia is actually very helpful to learn about this. But we are looking at the new season of F1. And we're going to kick it off with the newest team. It's the Cadillac Formula One team. Cadillac returning for the first time since I want to say the early 2000s as a manufacturer, as a constructor in F1, and they are bringing back two top tier drivers to bring in. Both these men were out of F1 last year, with Valtteri Bottas being dropped. I think it was by Williams. I can't remember who was driving for last. But he was dropped. And then Sergio Perez dropped by Red Bull last year in favor of younger drivers. So he took a season off. And now coming back, these two men, for like Checo, Sergio Perez was nicknamed as Checo. For I think was 2 straight seasons, was the number 2 driver in F1 behind Max Verstappen. Or no, sorry, number 3 because he was behind Lewis Hamilton. But like he was Max Verstappen's teammate. He was one of the best drivers in the sport for a good few years, working with Max Verstappen. Had a fall off in the 2024 season, which did result in getting let go. But I really feel like he's going to come back strong. And then Valtteri Bottas, it's really hard to say his name, is his teammate this year, who was the number 2 to Lewis Hamilton during Lewis Hamilton's 7 driver and constructor championships in a row. Oh, he won 6 drivers and 7 constructors in a row. Bottas was his teammate through most of those. And Bottas was number 2 in the standings as an individual driver during all of that time, which is absolutely incredible. He has had some lower-end seasons driving for some lower-end teams the last few years, but the experience that is coming to the team as drivers is absolutely tremendous. And it's a huge pickup for Cadillac here to put this team together. And to Eric, Hollywood movies and F1. I love the F1 movie. I thought it was absolutely tremendous. Actually, they talk about it in Drive to Survive. And I love NASCAR movies, even though I hate NASCAR. Give me movies about NASCAR because then I don't have to watch most of the time. I only have to watch about 5 minutes of racing because that's the most boring sport in the world. It's literally turn left repeatedly, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. That's all NASCAR is. At least F1, there's constant turning and braking and crashes and awesomeness. Where that doesn't happen in NASCAR. I love the movies made about them. So yeah, that's your newest team coming in to the F1 world. And then we're going to start kind of at the bottom of the constructors last year.
Just before you go a little further, Andre, there was a question asked that maybe we could just answer real quick. Eric wanted to know what you think of the Hollywood movies on F1 and NASCAR that have come out. Oh, did you?
I love the F1 movie. I love the F1 movie. Give me a movie about NASCAR any day because NASCAR is a boring ass sport. But when you see it in a movie, it's fucking exciting. Because left turn. That's all NASCAR is.
Man, I feel like a dummy. I missed that part, so my apologies.
It's all good. Maybe I was broken. I don't know. But yeah,
no. You came through.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Alpine coming back. This is a former they're coming back for another season with the same driver lineup as last year, Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto, who actually replaced Jack Doohan partway through the year last year. So this will actually be Colapinto's first full season if he gets through the whole year, because their team principal is an absolute maniac and he does crazy shit. He's been doing. He left the sport for years and then came back last season as part of this team, and he's a fucking maniac. Yeah, but Alpine again they were bottom of the league last year. Let's hope to see some improvements. But again, this is a team where through all testing hasn't looked superior, so they might still be at the bottom of the league come the end of the next season. So this is a team maybe. And then we can talk about the Audi Revolut team. This is the Audi team. It's their first year under the Audi branding, because last year they were the Stake F1 team. I have the graphics of the racers from last year. In here, they were the Stake F1 team last year, but they've rebranded as Audi this year. That is the Audi Revolut team. And they consist of Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto. Bortoleto in his now second year as a racer. Hülkenberg, I think he's behind Lewis Hamilton and I think Bottas right now. Oh, and Alonso, as it's him, Alonso, and Bottas and Hülkenberg are like the four longest term drivers going right now, with Fernando Alonso being the longest. But yeah, Hülkenberg's been around in the sport a long time, but and last year he picked up both of these men picking up. I think they both picked up a podium last year. I want to double check that, but I know Hülkenberg did, because it was a huge deal when he took a third place with that team, because that team is a lower end team. Again, came in ninth place, but he still got a third place finish in last year. I'm just checking out. Give me 1 second. No, not Colapinto. I'm sorry, he wasn't the one. I'm thinking about another person, but yeah, absolutely tremendously picking up a third place podium. It's crazy for, again, a team at their level. That's a huge spot there. And again, I think this team has a really good chance again, this is another middle of the pack team if they do the right things this year. It won't be a top end team, but they're a middle of the pack team if they do the right things. Looking forward to it. We have the Haas team. Yeah, love Haas. One of my favorite teams. I think they are one of the teams that kind of they're the American team. They're owned by the American team Haas, and they used to have a team principal, Gunther Steiner, who was this like really big personality and like really helped Drive to Survive take off in bringing that show and making that show popular. But they have moved on to another team principal last year and coming back this year, same team as last year. Sorry, hold on. My brain is not working right now. My brain doesn't work half the time in the morning.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, same team as last year. Esteban Ocon, Ollie Bierman. They both Ollie Bierman. He's a Ferrari reserve driver, even though he's signed for Haas. He was brought up through the Ferrari Academy, and he still technically is part of the Ferrari program. But they have let Haas sign him as their driver. This is his second year with Haas. Ocon absolutely had a really good season last year in this car. And did really good. And again, this is another team that can be a middle of the pack team. Again, I don't see them being a friend team. But again, everything could shift this year because there's been a huge change in a lot of how the cars build this year. So anything could change this year. Yeah. So in seventh place, or last year, seventh place team, which actually 2 seasons ago were the third place team, and Aston Martin with the same driver lineup. My boy Canadian Lance Stroll, let's go. The longest the man who has the longest term without a podium it now goes to Lance Stroll after Hülkenberg got his podium last year. Makes me sad. I got shamed for it last year, but I'm all about Lance Stroll. Let's go. He's my Canadian boy. I got to support my Canadian boy. Teaming up with Fernando Alonso, the longest tenured driver in F1 right now. Going to be absolutely tremendous. Again, this is a team that has some great highs, but it's also had some crazy lows. And Lance Stroll, we all know he only has a seat because his dad is the chairman of the Aston Martin corporation. We know that's the reason he has the reason the man was investing in F1 teams so his kid would get a seat. It's not like he's bad. He's just not great. He's not one of the greatest. But I hope this team does really well this year because I always love supporting my Canadian boy in Lance Stroll. So I hope he does well this year. Then we got the Racing Bulls team, which is Red Bull's number 2 team. So they have the team of Liam Lawson, who actually started last year on the Red Bull team and was demoted after a couple races down to the Racing Bulls team. And he's teaming up with brand new to the paddock this year, Arvid Lindblad, coming out of F2, coming to make a name for himself in the F1 world. This could be an interesting team to see how they stack up in there. This could be a make or break year for this team because it could be a great year if these two can perform, if the cars hold up this year like they did, like they had a good showing last year. But again, the cars have had a huge shift in a lot of how they work this year. So we'll see how this team does. We have Williams, who had their best performance last year in decades, since they were a top team in the 2000s. And then they fell down. They were at the bottom. They were in the bottom 3 for years consistently. And then last year was in 5th place with the performance of their cars, and their drivers both of their drivers having an absolutely phenomenal year. It just I love this team. Carlos Sainz Jr., former Ferrari driver, drives for Williams now, and was absolutely tremendous last year. Same with Alexander Albon. These last couple of seasons with Williams, he's really turned around. He's a former Red Bull driver who just could not perform there, but since moving to Williams has really helped bring this team back up. And these two together last year put them in 5th. There's a high chance that Williams could be a top 4 contending team this year. But the other 4 teams in front, the other teams in front of them are where it gets scary. Because here's the first scary team. It's Ferrari, who came in 4th last year. With Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, who both were on their team last year. Absolutely scary duo. And I feel like both of these two, Lewis Hamilton struggled a bit last year. He was actually the number 2 driver on his team, even though he's he's probably the GOAT in F1 driving of the last 25 years. But this year with the car change-ups, this team could be absolutely scary and be the top team this year. It's scary to see because with the car resets and the rebuilds and all these new pieces coming in, these teams could be just scary on how they look going forward. Then you've got Red Bull Racing, Max Verstappen, the man who was world champion for the last few years and lost the driver's championship to Lando Norris last year, came in 2nd. He's teaming up with a man who has been promoted from the Racing Bulls team, and that is Isaac Hadjar. That's coming up to race with Max Verstappen and on the number 2 seat. And they're hoping for high performance because after last season with Yuki Tsunoda having a very bad year in that race, Red Bull racing car, he is coming in to replace him. They want to see, because he performed very well in the Racing Bulls car last year. They want to see how he can do in the big seat, number 2 to Max Verstappen. That's huge to be in that seat. The number 2 team last year, which surprised some because this team has been 3rd the last couple seasons, was Mercedes with George Russell and man entering only his 2nd season this year coming in Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli had one of the best rookie seasons I think I've ever seen. Coming in, and it was 7th place overall. Took a 2 podiums in his first season. Like absolutely superstar in Kimi Antonelli. He had fourth place, multiple sixth place finishes. Had a few retirements, couldn't finish the races. Had a few non-point days, but yeah, had a lot of top 6, top 7, and then just had. Oh, sorry, and he also had three podiums with a second place finish in there. So absolutely tremendous rookie season. And then George Russell, multiple third place podiums. He had he had two first place finishes and two second place finishes last year. Absolutely tremendous. This team is only getting better and better every season that you see them roll on. And with Lewis Hamilton gone, it was almost Lewis Hamilton leaving them last year for Ferrari. Actually, I think was almost take the handcuffs off the team because it allowed them to really explore how they do. And with this lineup, I think it's going to get even better this year. But your last year's constructors champions, McLaren, with the world driver champion, the man on the left there, Lando Norris. This team is scary how good they have become in these last 3 seasons. This driver lineup is going into their fourth or fifth season together. I can't remember. But how scary this team has become in the last 3 years. Yeah, this is his fourth year. This is their fourth year together. Going into their fourth year together and have just steadily improved up to this is now 2 World Constructors Championships in a row and got the Drivers' Championship last year. This team is going to be insane with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri here. It's going to be scary. But I'm going to bring us back down to just me and Bobby here. I just can't remember which one I'm supposed to click. I'm gonna let Bobby pick which one we're supposed to click. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's that one.
You got it.
That's one. I'm going to talk a little bit just about the cars. Again, I'm not good with technical. Please know that I am not good with technical. I just enjoy watching the cars race and seeing it all. Again, a lot of change up. Load management is going to become because the cars have now gone from a more from like a more engine to partly battery to now a 50-50 engine battery electrical system split. So they're using a lot more stuff. They're going more towards electrical vehicles. So 50-50 split. So again, it's going to be a lot. This year's going to be a lot about conserving your power and using things in the right way. It's going to be, energy is now half the car. 50% internal combustion and 50% electrical split. And it used to be a 70-30 split last year. So that's huge, a huge change in there. So it's how you use your energy. It's how you, there's something called active aero now. It used to be called DRS, where the back wing would open up to let you speed up, but it was like a one shot and go and you're done. This is now the way they're going to active aero. It's using a bit of it and you being able to give boost to your car throughout the lap instead of one shot go. And you can kind of defend with, you can use it to defend now. It's going to be interesting. And again, recharge is going to be a really, because you're going to, especially now with a lot more battery here, you're going to need to be running that car the lower REM. You're going to have to play a lot more defensive driving here to get your battery built back up so that you can do these overtakes and use your active aero, because it's going to be a big year. I cannot wait for this Saturday night. I'm going to be up. I'm going to be watching it live. I cannot wait. I'm going to be tired as shit when I get on here next Sunday morning, because I'm not going to be going to bed till like 2 a.m. after watching the first races of the year. I'm super excited for this. I can't wait. I love F1. I've become a fan in these last few years, and I just can't wait to see more of it. And again, this year is going to be very cool to see how these teams perform, and the talk of how Ferrari was looking at all the practices and tests. Ferrari could be your number one team this year, and that is scary for McLaren, who has been so dominant the last couple of seasons. To have Ferrari coming back as hard as they are, and Red Bull, how do they perform? We know Max Verstappen's great, but he hasn't had a proper partner since they dropped Sergio Perez, which I never thought they should have done. But that's another argument for another day. But yeah, it's going to be an absolutely insane season. 11 teams on the grid this year. First time since the mid-2000s that we've had 11 teams on the grid. It's been 10 teams for almost the last 20 years, I think. But yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. F1 starts next weekend. 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Australian Grand Prix. I can't wait. It's going to be 11 p.m. my time. Yeah, 1 a.m. on Sunday the 9th for all y'all, Sunday the 8th? Sunday the 8th. Sunday the 8th at 1 a.m. for Eastern, and for me it's on Saturday night at 11. So I'm excited. Let's go. More racing.
Updates coming your way next week on the program here from Andre with that race, of course, and so much more. Andre, we will have more news, I'm sure, by next week coming out of things like Major League Baseball, who are getting into their preseason openers at the moment.
World Baseball Classic start in a couple days.
Yeah.
In a few days. The World Baseball Classic, so let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So we got a lot to talk about. If you have any suggestions as well, chat, for things you'd like to see on the show in the upcoming weeks, please let us know. We're always open to suggestions here for discussions that we would like to take from you as well, too. So we really appreciate the comment from last week's program. So if you want to add your questions into this week's program for us to carry over to next week's program, make sure you do that. But I think that's going to be enough for us to hear today, Andre. No, you got one more? Okay, one more. You go, brother.
Eric's comment that I spoke about earlier in the movies. F1 the movie 2, the sequel to F1 the movie, has been greenlit. We're getting a second F1 movie.
Nice.
Now, nobody knows if it's going to continue to follow Brad Pitt's character, being that he did the F1 season in the movie and then went off to do other racing around the world. Hopefully it does follow his character, but I'd like to see new characters introduced. They had the other driver that was on his team. I hope the actual movie will follow him and his career in the F1 world. I'm really hoping. But yeah, we're getting an F1 movie. We're getting another F1 movie in the next couple of years. I can't wait. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Fantastic. No, that's great news there for F1 fans or Brad Pitt fans possibly as well too, or just movie fans in general if you like the movies. But yes, Andre, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to throw your ticker up on the screen. Let the people know what you got coming up and where they can find you.
It's Blue Sky at that Canada, Instagram and Threads at that Canada dude. You can find me over on Backbreaker Media, where I do my show, The Pop Spot, where I pop ball spot 11 spots I love in professional wrestling. You can find me over there. Later today, there will be an episode dropping my review of LPWX CWS 33 and the LPW 45 event that I worked at and attended. So you can check that out. We're going to be recording that right after I'm done here. I'm going to go record that, then I'm going to upload it, and then it's going to be out there for all y'all to see. So check that out over on Backbreaker Media, and then you can find me back here next Sunday on Point of View.
Fantastic. As for myself, Bobby Munson, what I got coming up, first of all, what I just had from last night, myself and Asher Pizarro recorded our in-depth spoiler-heavy review of Scream 7. Yes, we not only give you our in-depth thoughts scene by scene on everything from new characters to the death scenes to the reveals of the Ghostface characters. If you're okay with spoilers or you've seen the movie and want to find out our opinions on it, that is now available over on YouTube. Go check it out and show us some love and support. This coming Thursday night yes, sir.
I'm rewatching those Scream movies right now. They're very good to rewatch. I watched them back in the day. I just haven't watched the recent one, so I'm rewatching so I can go watch Scream 7.
I do a rewatch every time a new one comes out, or just for the sake of it, about once a year anyway. So yes, did do a rewatch and was able to provide a ranking from between the 7 movies, as well as Astrid's ranking as well too. All that available on the latest Killer Cuts review on the channel here. And of course, this coming Thursday night, myself and Papa Smokes are back. And we are going to be giving you some more IPW New Zealand reviews here on the channel and on this Thursday night show. And then, of course, next Sunday, right back here with this good man, Andre, 2/3 Fluff EC, as we bring you more from the world of sports. That's what I got coming up. And what if you want to check out any of the great shows, and we've got lots of them as of late. We had new episodes of Noah Unleashed, the Mother Tucking Post show this week. We're going to have Taking Over back in the fold this coming week. We got a lot of great stuff here. And so if you found any level of entertainment from myself and Andre today, or from any of the shows across OLE, check us out on all social media. Follow us on YouTube and Twitch. We are partnered on both channels, especially here on YouTube, where we got that partnership. You can give us super chats, you can give us super stickers, do all those great things. But most importantly, watch the shows, give us the watch time, and also leave comments, all those things. Watch another video. That's how the algorithm works. The more you watch, the more it recommends, the more it helps us out. So we appreciate everything you do for us here on the channel. Thank you for the love and support, and we will see you next Sunday.